Well, Hunter Kozak,
Yeah.
hello and welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for being willing to sit down and do an interview with us. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of people know you as the last guy to speak to Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who is Hunter Kozak?
Sure. I am a math student, and I have a degree in philosophy as well. I got from UVU. I am a father of 2 kids. I make YouTube videos and TikTok videos and things like that. I care a lot about politics. I guess that's my little spiel.
Okay. Where are you from?
I grew up in a little town. Maybe not a little town, but it was kind of the outskirts of LA till I was 18, and then moved to BYU. And I kind of just stuck around in Utah ever since.
Okay.
Yeah, I was Mormon, so I went to BYU. Did not like it that much, but so I dropped out. My wife encouraged me to go to UVU.
Okay.
To go back to school. And I was like, I'm not doing BYU again. So I went to the kind of shittier college next door.
Why didn't
No
you
disrespect.
Why didn't you like BYU?
They had a lot of rules
Okay.
that I didn't really care about. And I wasn't Mormon, and everyone was Mormon there. And it was a culture shock. I feel like there's 2 different types of Mormons. There's the Mormons outside of Utah and then the Mormons in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how sort of uptight everyone was. So then I don't know. I didn't really make a lot of friends there, and didn't really enjoy the culture. Didn't really vibe too much. But then after I left BYU, I ended up liking Utah a little bit more than I thought I would. So
Okay.
I stuck around.
So you're not a practicing Mormon anymore?
No, I kind of dropped slowly out of the LDS church, probably fully when I was 21 or so. But it was a slow shift out. So.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your family's also Jewish too, right?
The simple explanation is that my mom is Mormon and my dad's Jewish. There's a little bit more to that because Judaism is kind of a weird ethno-religion where it's kind of an ethnicity and then also kind of a religion. In terms of religion, I am 0% Jewish. In terms of ethnicity, I'm 25% Jewish. So it's I can get birthright. I always describe myself as Jewish, right? I'm barely Jewish. It's just from my dad's dad. Most Orthodox Jews don't consider me Jewish because it has to go through the mom is Jewish rules.
Right. Okay.
So it's I don't know. I'm not really Jewish. I think I sometimes tentatively call myself that, but I don't know. It's weird sometimes to sort of describe yours because I ethnically I am somewhat Jewish, right?
Okay.
25%. I'm as much Irish, and I call myself Irish too.
So did you have a bar mitzvah?
No.
Did you go
None of that.
on birthright?
No, I can get birthright. No, I never had a bar mitzvah. I'm not religious, even a little bit. My dad had a bar mitzvah. My dad grew up Jewish. My dad went to Hebrew school, all that stuff. He converted when he was 23 or 24 or something like that to Mormonism, and then met my mom. And so, yeah, I kind of grew up religiously Mormon.
Okay. Let's talk about your dad.
Yeah.
Steve Kozak.
Steve. Yeah.
Works for Jimmy Kimmel, right?
He does work for Jimmy Kimmel. He is a clips and clearances, which basically means he just makes sure that videos are able to be approved to show, because there's a whole sort of clearance section of the law about what you can show on TV and what you can't. So he mostly I don't know. He has a huge he's a big film collector, and he just sort of has a bunch of random tapes and random videos that are actually worth quite a bit of money. He always talks about how everyone thinks that it's really easy to just access whatever they want, but especially if you go back 60, 70 years, it's really, really difficult to find old TV shows. So he just has a ton of stuff on tape. If you go into our garage, it's just full of random TV shows from wherever, and he makes a little bit of a business out of it. He sells
Cool.
TV shows or clips and old TV shows.
Do you remember quite a few months ago, it was after the September incident at UVU, Jimmy Kimmel went on air and he said something that offended people. And do you remember exactly what the comment was, Brandi?
No, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Do you?
I for sure watched it. It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he got pulled off air. And it was a big deal because I know this, it happened so directly to me that it's weird that I can't recall.
Did it have to do with Trump?
No, it was about Charlie Kirk dying.
Yeah, but did it have to do with Trump not being sad enough or talking about the White House ballroom, maybe
I don't know.
after.
Honestly, when I watched the video, I was like, that didn't seem that like I saw a lot of deranged comments online, a lot of really crazy, really mean, vindictive things said about Charlie. From what I saw, I don't remember it being that aggressive at all. But I don't know. I don't remember the exact comments. But I think like Brendan Carr, he was like the director of the FCC or something like that. He pulled the licensing from Jimmy Kimmel, which a lot of people saw as a political move, as like a critique of freedom of speech, because it seemed very clear that Donald Trump, it was a motivated call for Donald Trump to push Brendan Carr to remove the licensing rights. And a lot of people were really, really angry about it because it was like pretty clearly a freedom of speech issue.
So was your father, when I was going to ask if he was involved, was he involved in that?
He's not a writer, like he was working there and he didn't work for like a week because of it. But like he just sort of checks licenses for videos that they use on air. Like he's not really involved in like the writing process or the production of it at all. And honestly, my dad was joking that like he was watching conspiracy theories about him. And like he was puffing out his chest. He's like, yeah, I am important over at Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, he's kind of like a low,
like not a direct employee.
No, he's a direct employee, but he's not involved in the production or writing of the they send him videos. They say, we want to show this. And usually he has to reach out to the person who made the video. He has to buy the rights. He has to go through that negotiating process. And that's his job.
Way to word that was more so like he's not directly involved in production. Is exactly what you said.
Sure.
Do you have a background in acting, or have you ever been on TV?
The answer is no. I'm going to tell a fun, there's fun stories of my dad doing little home videos of like us burying a bird, and it was like this really weird emotional story, and he put it on some shitty TV show I was working at the time. Like there's like odd things like that, but no, I've never been on TV. I've never acted, never taken an acting class. I was in a play once 10 years ago because my girlfriend was in the play and she wanted me to do it. I think that's the extent of my acting.
Okay. I want to talk now about the Unfuck America tour.
Okay.
So how did you first get involved with that?
So the leader, the CEO of UFA her name's Z. She reached out to me on TikTok, and she said, I liked your videos. This was like 2 years ago. She said, I liked your videos, and I'm trying to get a bunch of content creators to just sort of do debates in person. And because she's seen, like I did TikTok debates and things like that. And she's like, you seem really good at it. Let's pull you in. So.
Okay. And what were your videos, if you want to just kind of describe what drew her to you?
They were always sort of political. I think the very specific one I did was there was a lot of discrediting on these studies on whether or not trans surgeries were beneficial to the recipients. And Matt Walsh did this really extensive, like 15-minute video debunking it. And I debunked his debunking. And it was like a big video. It took me a while, but it was like on TikTok, it was like a 5-10 minute video, which for TikTok is a lot. But like, yeah, I did one of those. I really like the sort of debunking type of videos where I take someone's stats and I analyze, I'm a math student, and I think I know graphs and stats a little bit more than the average person, I would say. And, so I usually tend to focus on that, but I don't know if there was a particular video that she might have just watched. Sometimes I just do debates on like, Trump is a bad president, debate me, something like that. I don't know.
Okay. So did you have a specific role on this tour?
No, it was just kind of just like getting a bunch of debaters together. And there was one moment where we went to, it was in Florida. It was for one of Charlie Kirk's events. And this was like a recurring thing for UFA where like, Charlie always prided himself on like debating really anyone, but it seemed like he was just debating sort of teenagers or college kids, freshmen, not really anyone who was like decently trained in this sort of stuff. So there was a whole bunch of creators that sort of went to the event. And then basically, if you were on TikTok as a liberal, you fully got blacklisted from the event, like every single person. So, yeah.
Really? Even though he says if you disagree with me, come to the front?
Right. Yeah, that was kind of the ongoing hypocrisy.
Wait, when you say blacklisted from the event, you're talking about the UVU event?
No.
Okay,
No. We went to Florida.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe 6 months before the shooting, I think.
So how many
Was
Charlie
it
Kirk
April?
events have you been to?
That was the only one.
So the Florida one and then obviously the UVU one.
Correct.
And so did I don't want to keep cussing, but what do you call it? The
UFA.
UFA?
Yeah. Which I'm no longer with, by the way.
Okay. So UFA, did they pay for your flights to go there?
Yes. Yeah. But there was also like crowdsourcing where like we had like affiliate links and things like that to sort of help fund us going there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I had a decent amount of followers pitch in.
And did they pay you to go too?
It wasn't paid. It was just like the flight and
experience.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't like it was the flight and the hotel was going to be paid for. So paid, right? Like it's not profitable. But like, we were filming a bunch of videos and so it was profitable in a sense.
Sure.
Like I did a whole bunch of debates with a whole bunch of his followers or fans,
so
to call them.
Just to get it straight, just because I just learned what Charlie Kirk events were back in September.
Yeah.
And I learned what UFA was because of everything that happened with Charlie.
Yeah.
So UFA is basically the antithesis of Turning.
Yeah, that's what Z sort of positioned it as. It was like, there's not really a good left-wing version of what Charlie's doing at Turning Point. So there's a lot of these sort of organizations that crop up. There's, Take Back America, there's UFA, there's a couple others I'm aware of. Trying to remember, my boy Carlos has got one. Yeah, there's just organizations that just sort of like, they want to sort of facilitate these sort of dialogues in the way that Charlie did really effectively for the right.
Did they ever host their own events?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to one in Vegas that was like, it was like, let's debate college kids.
And then did people from TPUSA show up at UFA events?
No, we weren't that big. We were tiny in comparison. So it was always like, I don't know how beneficial it was to just sort of talk to college kids, which is why, I don't know, there were a lot of reasons why I dipped out, but I didn't find it as particularly effective.
Okay. And so you said that you guys were blacklisted from
every liberal creator, yeah.
From TPUSA events.
No, not that one in particular. So here's really what happened.
Okay.
We bought tickets early in advance. We got flights, we got hotels. The day of, or maybe the day before, I don't remember. We were all collected there. And one by one, really everyone who I knew who was around there, like all of our tickets got refunded. And it was like, sorry, you will not, this ticket has been refunded. It was pretty easy because my wife's name wasn't attached to it. Cause like, like it was very clear. They just sort of went to like the UFA website and just like found all the names and then just refunded all those people. And then went to like other organizations, checked like the big liberal. I think Dean was also there and he got blacklisted and he had to figure out what to do. I was kind of lucky because my wife went with me and her name's not attached. So we just sort of skated in under her name. He just really didn't want, I mean, I can be critical of him sometimes. Like, I don't know. I think that we should be nuanced about Charlie's legacy. I think that he sometimes was not super honest about debating everyone.
Was it because there was violence that occurred or?
No, we were very peaceful. I will say, one of my buddies, who I love to death, his name's Robbie Roadmaster. He does like parody songs and stuff to just sort of like shit on Trump. And he did sort of disrupt one of the events. He comes in singing and he's like, I want to debate you, Charlie, whatever. He makes a little bit of a scene. But Charlie played it off well and it made a big splash. It made a good video. But yeah, that's like the most that we would do is like disruptive. Honestly, what we wanted to do was just get like tables, debate a liberal and come debate us. It wasn't even like for Charlie, no, but like that sort of conversation is not really what the event was for. Because sometimes Turning Point was not always about just having a good conversation like they claim to be.
Okay. And so how did the tour decide which events to go to?
You'd have to ask E that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, like
which Turning Point events to go to, which
I don't know, whatever we had money for and was big. Like that was kind of I think the big deciders. We couldn't go to everything. But like when they came to my campus, I'm like, well, I'll be there for sure. I was going to go because he was going to go up to, I think, Utah State and a couple other Utah things. And I was like, I'll drive to go
in
debate up there
Logan
too.
I
Think so. I forget where specifically he was. Utah State and maybe U of U. He was also going to. I don't remember.
And so did Z Sanchez, that's her full name.
Z Cohen-Sanchez, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So did she or anyone else ever brief you before events or give you guidance on how to approach Charlie or Turning Point speakers?
No, I think she really trusted in sort of our ability as, honestly, one of the big frustrations is how loose she was. She's like, you're coming under the banner. I was like, what are we doing? And she's like, figure it out. I'm like, okay, I'll figure something out. So I came up with like my own shtick when we did that event in Florida. Even when I was at UVU, it wasn't like UFA wasn't there. Like I wasn't under UFA there. So I have a bunch of like friends in that debate space who I have conversations with about like the best way to debate. But I think that UVU thing was like almost fully of my own invention.
Okay. I guess before September 10th, did anyone on the tour discuss trying to create viral moments at Charlie Kirk events?
Well, that was sort of the whole goal of the organization. So I'd say yes.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's getting particulars is going to be a little tricky.
Okay.
Because like their biggest video was like Dean was part of UFA for a little bit. I don't know if you guys know Dean, but he's like probably the biggest liberal debater in the space.
Maybe I'd recognize him, but I don't know.
Others, yeah. He would constantly challenge Charlie, and Charlie would avoid him like the plague. And because he wanted to go debate freshmen. He didn't want to debate like a decently professional debater who was like got a degree in economics and like genuinely knows what he's talking about. So he's got this moment under the UFA banner where he's kind of yelling at Charlie like, why won't you debate me, man? Why won't you debate me? And the crowd sort of like is with Dean, is like, go debate Dean, and he still avoids it the whole time. So it was like moments like that we were trying to get to just sort of show the dishonesty or the hypocrisy of Charlie really only wanting to debate freshmen.
That's interesting because he would debate people like actually in the government that opposed.
What do you mean?
Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
On his podcast?
Oh, sure. He had Newsom on his podcast. Sure.
Yeah. So
it was a lot less confrontational though. And like sometimes he did it's nuanced and it's hard to exactly paint. I don't want to paint with a broad brush here because he obviously was going to go on Jubilee and I was going to go debate him. So it's like there are moments in which he was willing to step in that public sector. I think he did an event at like it was some British university. He debated a bunch of students there and they were a lot, it was a lot more of like an official thing. Sometimes he avoided it and sometimes he didn't. He purported himself to be someone who debated anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I just found that a little bit inaccurate.
Going back to how you were going to debate with Charlie at Jubilee later, why did you also want to go early to UVU and ask him questions there?
Yeah, like genuinely, like it was the day of that my daughter was born, which was on September 7th. We got that text message like, hey, do you want to be on that Jubilee thing? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Also, he's coming to my university. And I was like, we obviously shouldn't go because our baby's so young. But then she got put in the NICU and Shelby was feeling a lot better. My wife was feeling a lot better. And she's like, no, I want to get out of here. Like I've been in the hospital, cramped in a shitty hospital bed for like 4 days now.
Oh, so Shelby was there with you.
Correct. She was filming for a TikTok video that I was going to make. Like, probably 20 feet away. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
And were you going to talk about?
I have footage from my phone. I sent to the FBI. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
You still have it?
Yeah, probably. I've checked. I've watched it every once in a while. It's sometimes. Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's like you probably don't want to watch that.
Exactly. I try not to, but it's like, and there's so much footage from like every angle possible,
right?
That like I don't really feel necessary to like throw it out there, but like, and
plus
it was also
an iPhone 12.
It was also true. It was also trained on me, so like you don't really see the shot at all.
We're gonna talk about the conspiracy a little bit later, obviously, and I know your feelings on it and how it's affected you and everything, but would you still be willing to share that footage with us?
Sure. It doesn't look exactly great, and that's mostly because Shelby has a whole bunch of chemicals pouring through her body at the moment because she's going through, she had given birth 3 days before. So it doesn't really give a little bit of a shock.
Now there's going to be a conspiracy about her.
There's a genuine reason why I didn't like exactly want to release it, because it doesn't look great that she doesn't respond like that. She doesn't really shake that much when it happens. Yeah, I think she went into freeze mode and like really was shook up. But yeah.
No, have you given that footage to anyone in law enforcement?
Yeah. I sent it to the FBI. She also, funnily enough, she took a bunch of like B-roll footage just for like, like in case I want to do a couple different videos on this, just what the experience was like. So she was like, had pictures of the crowd and stuff like that. And so we sent all of that to the FBI.
I know the UVU event was advertised a little bit later. When did you first find out about it?
I don't remember the time. It was probably 3 weeks before. I don't know. That's a pretty broad guess. I was just walking down the hallway in my university, and the chapter at UVU, they were just like handing out flyers. And so yeah, I saw it and I was like, boom, I will be there. I thought my wife was giving birth later. She had to get, but yeah, that's another reason why I think, sorry, this is just a little bit of a tangent, but it is sometimes a little frustrating talking to conspiracy theorists where it's like, why did the FBI give up so much earlier? And it's because I have fucking like 4 days of just being in the hospital doing absolutely nothing and just talking to the nurses. And like, I have so much corroboration with those witnesses that they obviously talked to and like figured out pretty easily. Like, I was at a hospital for like 4 days straight and then like drove right to the event, I think from the hospital.
Did you already know which question that you were going to ask?
Yeah, because I had made a video like a week before of this was an ongoing little series I did on like conservatives keep ramping up how much trans shooters commit mass shootings. I had done one like 3 or 4 years ago because Benny Johnson was really ramping this up, and I did a little data analysis. I pulled all the figures. I was like, this doesn't add up. This doesn't proportionally, they don't commit a lot of mass violence. So then when I was like looking, because I knew Charlie was coming to my university, I went through all of his tweets for a while to see if there's anything I could like disagree about or make a video about. And I saw he made another tweet about trans mass shootings. And because there was an event that happened like maybe 2 weeks before September 10th, where someone shot up a Catholic school, a trans person shot up a Catholic school. So Charlie had tweeted about it and then also said that this is why we need to take gun rights away from trans people. So I had him on like sort of two different axes, where on the one case, the proportionality is just not accurate. And then on the second case, he had at multiple times stated that we need to have gun rights because even if we take them away, mass shootings won't decrease. So it feels contrary if you're saying that we need to take gun rights away from trans people and then mass shootings would decrease. I think it was hypocritical. It was just a way for him to sort of target a disenfranchised minority.
I guess it's a good corroboration too, that you did film those videos years before. And was it like 2 weeks before with the other video about?
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah. Something like 2 weeks before. And then I want to say like 2 or 3, maybe 4 years before I made a big one that was like, it did the best that any video has ever done for me. So it was like, I was like, oh, I know that this is a good topic for me. I know it's one of my strengths. I know that people find this interesting. So I felt pretty confident that I was going to go in there. I did feel at the very last minute like I wanted to talk about the Epstein files because Trump, there was a letter that Trump had given to Epstein with like a little it was like a picture of a girl with like, and he signed it where pubic hair would be. It was like this disgusting thing that everyone was talking about. So I considered at the like while I was in line, do I talk about that or do I talk about this? But I knew the stats of the first one, so I wanted to stick to that.
Okay, so sorry to challenge you a little bit here, but
yeah.
Jubilee, going back to Jubilee, you were scheduled to debate with Charlie at Jubilee in 2 weeks, right? We're on September 10th. It's like a week or 2 weeks away that you're scheduled to debate with him.
Uh-huh.
And that is, just explain it really quick. It's like one of those rooms where it's just like
it was it was the surrounded series, I believe. The producer honestly hadn't given me a lot of information, like the questions that was going to be given or anything. It was just an invite. Yeah, I believe it was the surrounded series because I actually knew other people in the debate sphere who had also gotten those text messages. Like Kyla is a good friend of mine, not so erudite. She's like a She's on those series all the time. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. But she's on those series all the times, and we had talked about it right beforehand. Like, oh, we should collaborate. We should figure out what specifically we were gonna say before then.
Okay, so the challenge that I was going to challenge you with. So you don't choose what you talk about at Jubilee. They choose.
Charlie does.
Okay.
And I don't know if he had made those decisions yet. I've heard contrary evidence on, because I know a bunch of people have been on Jubilee, even though I haven't. And sometimes they send out the questions, and sometimes it's a genuine surprise to them in the moment. I think there was maybe like broad stroke topics, but like.
Got it. So I was going to say, why, if you're so passionate about like transgender statistics and whatnot, why didn't you save it for the more intimate setting? But if he's choosing the topics for Jubilee, then
yeah, I didn't know if that was, for sure.
Okay. So the transgender mass shooting question, did anyone help you with that question?
No. I wish, because then I could put it on them. But no, it was to me. And but yeah, like I've said before, I mean, I talked about my question in line quite a bit, and I talked about it with some of the TPUSA, the Turning Point employees there.
Okay.
And yeah, I think everyone kind of knew what I was talking about beforehand. Henry, that little bitch, by the way, who was ahead of me in line, he lied about. Did you see this? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No, explain.
Fucking this little bitch. Okay. He did this thing where he went, because I had my question, and then he was like, he goes up to the first camera as soon as the shooting happens. He goes up to the first camera that he sees, and he goes, dude, that guy behind me in line was acting crazy suspicious because he was talking about transgender rights the entire time. And then suddenly he gets up and he's talking about mass shootings. Like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, you dumbass. I was talking about transgender mass shootings. And because you can't hear, because whatever. That was like the very first spark for the conspiracy theories. It was like,
okay,
Henry being a little tool.
Was he making like videos online that were going viral? Or?
No, he just went to there were a bunch of reporters there. So they were just like asking for testimony, and he just like went right up there.
Okay. And I want to get more into how your question was approved, but I just have a quick question for you. So what made you so interested in transgenderism or transgender mass shootings? Because you're not transgender.
No, I'm not. I would say I have friends who are trans, but it's also like it's kind of two different avenues that I find really, really interesting. And the first is statistical analysis, which I sort of always have. I mean, if you watch my videos, they're not like, I wouldn't even say they're like more than 10% about trans people. Like, it is political videos that aren't just obsessed with that topic. They tend to do the best, but that's just sort of like the nature of TikTok, I think, is like, that's just the most interesting topic to them, I guess. I don't know. It feels weird pigeonholed in that one specific like topic. But I will say that like statistical analysis is always sort of like an interest of mine, and I always sort of want to make videos on that. I did like a series of like how everyone was saying that like Hollywood's too woke. Star Wars is like, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't let like people be straight white males anymore. And I took percentages of like all the actors and then compared them against like the ethnicities of the world. But the second is also I have a degree in philosophy, and a lot of that was philosophy of language and logic. And I think categories and the way that categories function for human beings is really, really interesting. And I talk a lot about that. Some of my favorite books are on category theory. I just find it like an interesting conversation to be having. Just like, what is a woman? He would always sort of say that as a getcha. I'm like, I feel like it's a really interesting question. I felt really prepared to answer that question.
What is woman?
We're going to wait, hold on. We can't go down because that does beg. Do we want to do that?
Well, just quickly.
You define what is a woman. Could you?
I think a woman has XX chromosomes.
Okay. What about someone with like Turner syndrome, for example, who are like, there's a girl I know who was she's 21 years old, and she was a woman her entire life. When she was 21, she had abdominal pain. She went to the doctors, and the doctor diagnosed her with Turner syndrome, which essentially means that she doesn't have XX chromosomes. She has XXY, I believe. She has gonads, internal gonads, but she like phenotypically was a female. So is she a woman?
Well, that's a very, very rare case.
I agree.
Yeah, and we don't have to. I'm not going to debate you
Well, but
on
here's the thing,
transgenderism right now.
Okay, sure.
But
Well,
yeah,
that was the question. Is
but I just wanted to know what what your answer was.
Sure. I think that very often we have really terrible ideas of what definitions or categories are, and we sort of assert them and reify them into the world without really sort of examining them carefully and considerably. So I think that whatever we can, we don't have to do that right now.
Wait, pause really quick. I know that this specific interview that we're doing right now is about one specific topic, but I would love to see a debate between you two.
Maybe another time.
She looked at me so fucking cocky. She was like, really? Gonna do it with me?
Maybe another time.
Sure.
Can you walk us through how you ended up being the person to ask Charlie a question?
Sure.
So US Weekly reported that your question was approved ahead of time.
Yes, correct.
So how does that process work? It was approved through TPUSA.
Well, it was kind of approved through two different things. I got to the event and it's fucking chaotic. Like it's not really clear where anything is supposed to go. 2 hours before. I think it was at 11 a.m. Wait, hold on. I skipped class to be there. I remember that. And my class was at 12. No, maybe it was 11.
If you showed up 2 hours before, you probably showed up around like 10.
Because Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m.
Oh, so maybe it started at 12 then. Because it was probably only 25 minutes in. That makes sense. Yeah, so I probably got there around like 10. I don't know. It's really unclear where anyone is supposed to go. Everyone's just sort of like setting up camp and like milling around. And I didn't even really see like exactly a line. I just find a Turning Point employee. I don't know if they're like a volunteer or whatever. And I asked her, hey, like, where do I get in line? And she's like, well, what do you want to ask him? And I sort of like go give my little spiel. She said, that's perfect. And then she found me, she just put me in line and I was probably like 8th or so in line. Then they started going through and actually like filtering because quite a bit of people were asking really horrible questions. Just like there was a guy in line who was like, he wanted to ask Kobe or LeBron. A lot of people were very like right wing and just sort of wanted to ask like questions about Mormonism like Henry did. So they just wanted like one or two, but that was like the overwhelming majority of the people in line. So they found me and they were like, I was like, I think I was the only liberal in that entire line. Wow. And they pushed me forward. So
and who is the person that
I don't know her name.
Okay. Wait, so you show up around 2 hours early and maybe like 10 minutes into being there, you're like, where's the line?
Yeah.
And then you're 7th or 8th, you're estimating how many minutes before the actual event?
Pretty soon before. I want to say I was like 7th or 8th for the majority of the time. And like probably 15 or 20 minutes before. So like, I don't know, 11:40. I'm totally guessing this. And this is also like 8 months in the future. And I haven't really thought about the specific times. But yeah, I would probably say like 15 minutes before the event, they pushed me forward and there was like a line beforehand. And then there was like sort of there was like an actual line that they were sort of filtering through that was like in front of Charlie, if that makes sense. Yeah. And like one of the first person in line, I remember her, she was, she had gotten there like I think she had like gotten there like 4 a.m. or something like that. But then she didn't have an interesting question. So she was really mad that like they didn't push her forward. And they're like, what do you want to say? And she's like, I'm just a big fan. And they're like, no, like.
Okay.
Wait, so if I were to show you photos of the woman who moved you to the front of the line, would you know who it was?
Maybe. I do remember her as like, I don't know if there was like anything interesting. I remember the person who was first in line very clearly because she had a very distinctive looking face. Probably
no, not the woman who was waiting in
the
line.
person who was.
Okay.
I know. I maybe.
So
I really don't know if I could.
I'll give it a shot.
And also like this is also here's what I'm really worried about is like suddenly a whole bunch of hate goes towards this woman because I identified her 10 months later after, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am a little bit worried about, because I don't fucking know, really. Like, and I, like, obviously, if you got me the day of the event or like a week after or something like that, I'd be able to identify her. But like, it has been 10 months and I don't really remember her and I didn't really talk to her at all. But like, yeah, we can see.
But it was definitely someone like in Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip photos that people have asked me to show you.
Okay.
That are not in.
I don't know if I'll be helpful, but okay.
Well, while she's looking, so you're saying that you didn't submit your question like days prior. It was that day.
No, there was like a sign up sheet. There
Okay.
was like a on the flyer they were handing out.
Mhm.
They're like, sign up here, and I put my name down and like said I would be there. I do think that was just a way to like estimate the pot, because obviously there was like they didn't check at all. So I think it was just to see how many people were going to be there.
But you didn't write your question down at that point.
No. It wasn't. It was an attendee. It wasn't like.
Okay, so your question was, you told them your question that day.
Yeah.
And it was approved that day.
Yeah.
And then they decided, after evaluating everyone's questions, to put you second in line.
Sure. I would say that this feels a little bit more structural, the way that you put it, than how it actually happened. But I do agree with everything you said. Does that make sense? Like it was a lot more of like someone heard my question, was like, oh, we got to get you there. And then like put me there. And then, I don't know.
So you weren't told a specific reason why you were second. They just put you there.
I do think it was obvious. Like,
You're the only
I'm the only liberal in the, like, genuinely, I was having a conversation I was expecting way more left wingers.
This is actually the only, and for
I don't
her
think
own
so.
comfort, this woman has not been identified. No one knows who she is, but
I don't think so. No, this doesn't look right. She looks, I want to say she was older looking. She was more professional looking. I don't know. Brunette, I think.
I think this is the same, because multiple people sent in.
But like the thing is, like, maybe she put in.
It's the same person. That's a really bad quality
terrible photo. And it's also like maybe she just put on sunglasses later, and it's like, no, because she didn't wear sunglasses, like,
yeah.
I don't. This very well could be. This is blurry as hell. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really bad quality
Yeah.
photo. Well,
Okay. Were you paid to attend the UVU event?
No.
Okay.
Speaking of all of the conspiracy stuff too, one of everybody's favorite connection between you and what ended up happening is, I don't know how early it was, but at some point before the event actually started, you're chatting in line with other people, and there's a video of you that's gone so viral, and there's no audio in it. It's you from far away.
Yeah, clutching my hand.
Sure. And you're like, doing that. There's no audio. When the actual tragedy happens, you react almost the exact same way. So I just wanted to ask you if you've heard about that.
Yeah.
What you were actually doing in that moment.
Of course. I mean, you could check my DMs, and just every single one is like, we saw you practicing reaction. We're going to fucking get you. Look, here's the thing. This is maybe where, weirdly enough, Brandi could back me up here. I know, weird. I'm a little bit professional in these moments. And when I'm around people who are annoying, we've gotten
am I annoying?
a little bit. Hold on.
I disagree with you.
No, I know, but like when we're like sort of like animated and shit, like when we were at the bar, like I was like, sometimes I get very like animated and sort of like,
yes,
I get really engaged and stuff like that.
And just to break the fourth wall really quick, we have met Hunter before.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did meet up one time, me, Billy.
And we argued all night. It was great.
We did argue all night.
It wasn't arguing though. It was arguing. It was fun debating.
And it was. Yeah. No.
Intense.
And like genuinely, like I have so much fun debating. And like I really do like I really love that sort of like spirit and shit where we're just like I'm mad at them, but it's like it's still fun.
And we wanted to,
I'm not like actually annoyed, like it was
like
that, and we were playing off of each other, and I think it was just sort of like, I don't know, I was very animated.
Yeah. And just to reiterate the backstory, we wanted to interview you. You said no. Yeah. But then you agreed to meet up with us if we didn't talk about Charlie Kirk. We ended up talking
about Charlie. I don't think that was on the list that we couldn't talk about. Was it?
Tell us. You were like, as long as we do not talk about Charlie Kirk, we can meet up at the bowling alley. And we were like, okay. And then we got it in there.
And then we started talking about politics and all night. Yeah.
And then we got there. Yeah. But like, I'm a very spirited debater. And there was this one fucking guy right behind me in line. I don't remember what he said, and I wish I remember what he said. He said something like, I fucking heard that Kamala Harris wanted universal health care. And I'm like, fucking obviously, dumbass. Like, are you following anything? I did this like, what? Huh? Like mocking this dude. I turned to the guy ahead of me, Henry, to just sort of go like, right? I was like, I'm the only fucking liberal here. Like no one else finds this interesting or thoughtful. So I was, yeah, I was mocking the person behind me. I was being a bitch for sure. I tend to be that when I'm really animated, and like online debates, you know, like I'm all over those, and you could see me just sort of like being aggressive and being frustrated and yelling when like I'm having a good time, and I think other people are having a good time, and I enjoy sort of those spaces where we can. And so yeah, it was nice being in that line, even though uh I don't know, everyone was annoying in it. And I say annoying, like I'm not actually annoyed, you know, it's just like
Annoying to you.
it's kind of that shit where it's just like it like and then you just want to talk about it, and then it's like I'm having a good time and everyone else is having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on from that, do you find it odd at all that when something happens in front of your face that did happen on September 10th, do you find it odd that it was like the same moment? Like when something crazy happens to you, would you typically act like that?
It's so hard to answer that because I've never been that surprised in my life. And like to some degree, when I was doing that thing because the dude behind me in line said something stupid, I was feigning being surprised, right? So like it makes sense that my actual surprised face does kind of look similar. I think about how I was acting and I look at how I was acting, and they are two completely different stories. Because like when I think about it, I'm like, I was rationally analyzing the situation. I heard the noise behind me. I looked ahead. I knew that it was an assassination. I got down. I talked to the person right behind me in line to check if I was okay. And then you see me react. It's just fucking like, yeah, my body's like shaking. And it's really hard to see, honestly. I've watched it a few times. I haven't really rewatched a bunch, but I remember watching it the first time. I'm like, I don't remember it like that. And it is kind of fucked how much your memory sort of paints over those sort of events in weird ways.
Do you, in your memory, because a lot of people had pointed out that, you know, from these wide angle views, you can see all the kids behind you ducking down about maybe a second or 2 seconds sooner than you. So in your memory, did you go down immediately?
Yeah, in my memory. I don't know if that's accurate. I remember the dude right behind me in line. We like looked at each other and we were like both so fucking shaking. And he was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Let's get out of here." Like we both looked at each other and knew that we sort of had to move. But then, you know, other gunshots didn't happen. You know, it was just one. And we just sort of walked away, and it weirdly got kind of calm, where it was like it was very clearly not a mass shooting, that no one else was a target. And it was a very odd experience because it was like, this just happened 2 seconds ago, but also I'm pretty damn sure I'm okay right now. I don't know. Yeah.
So you said you guys have walked away?
Yeah, we walked under the little bridge under the
You guys didn't run, you were just walking?
It's a crowded area. You couldn't really run. But yeah, like after the first gunshot, it was like we ducked for a fat minute and we looked at each other and we just sort of like, we started moving that way and nothing else happened. And I'm like, it totally makes sense. This was a political assassination. Like no one else would be a target.
Okay, so let's just go to September 10th, which I know we've already been talking about, but can you walk us through what you did that day leading up to that moment?
Woke up and went there, genuinely. So I don't know if there's much more to that story.
Okay.
Like, I parked at the Walmart nearby. I don't know if that's interesting. You know, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So you weren't at the hospital then?
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we got discharged that night before. Like, I mean, we were so like, it's so fucking exhausting being in that place. And like, also, yeah, I think we got discharged the night before. My daughter had gotten admitted to the NICU the day before. I know that, on September 9th. Or actually, maybe it was September 8th. I don't know. Maybe it was pretty early. And we were just sort of like wandering around the hospital. Like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go home. We went home and went to sleep. But when we woke up, went to the event. And then we actually got a call like right after the shooting happened from the hospital saying that they needed to come to the hospital. So we went right there after that.
And so there are videos, obviously, of you asking the question to Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And so right before your question, you looked towards Brian Harple and you adjusted.
Which Brian Harple? I'm sorry.
One of Charlie's security guards.
Okay.
And you adjusted your glasses, but you looked at him and not Charlie.
I fucking love these conspiracies.
No, I'm just curious because people are asking.
I adjusted my I don't remember adjusting my glasses. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I don't. I'm sure I looked at the security guards every once in a while. I don't know.
Okay, well, because we have you here, just want to ask the questions that are being asked online so you can explain. So
I also want to show him the video really quick because I can find it very quickly.
All right, let's see this.
We can cut any awkward.
I think I have seen this conspiracy before.
We just got to ask you because you're here.
You gotta.
Okay.
Regardless of how dumb they are. Look, here's the thing. Wait, hold on. Before we watch this, one sec. I understand looking at the fucking me doing the surprise face and going, that looks suspicious. I 100% understand that. I look at this, I'm like, what the hell are we talking about? I'm adjusting my glasses.
Yeah, people are saying
can't even adjust our glasses anymore.
You look at Brian Harple, you adjust your glasses, and then that's when the whole sequence of all the hand motions go.
Okay.
Frank Turek touches his hat. Then you have Dan Flood do this weird.
I don't know. Movement. I know Frank. I don't know any of the other names, and I only know Frank because I met him much later.
You met him?
Yeah, like 6 months later.
Oh, really?
He went to a UVU event.
Yeah.
He went. He went with Ratio Christie, which is like a debate. It's like a religious debate organization at UVU. I know a lot of those guys there. I'm actually pretty good friends with some of them. And they were like, Frank wants to meet you. I'm like, sure. And we had a little conversation. And
what was that like?
It was like for that 15 seconds we talked. No, it was probably more than that. For that 5 minutes that we talked. Sure. Yeah.
What did you guys talk about?
How dumb the conspiracy theories were. We did a little video too where like we had a conversation. I don't know if he published it anywhere, but yeah, it was maybe 6 months after the event.
Okay, so he wanted to meet you, and he just said the conspiracy theories are dumb, or what? How did the conversation go?
Oh, he's like, hey, do you want to meet up? Like, I'm doing a thing with a bunch of people that you know. We're gonna be going around campus, and I'm gonna be doing like an event where I talk about, he's a Christian apologist, so I wanted, he's like, if you want to go, feel free. And so we met up. And I don't even remember what we talked about. We probably it was a lot about how bad the conspiracy theorists were to Frank and how bad the conspiracy theorists were to me. And yeah, it was just it was a really good moment. He sort of wanted to debate the things about like continue the debate. And I started talking and it felt like he sort of clammed up a little bit and stuff.
About trans shooter.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more educated than him on the topic, which is whatever. Not everyone has to be educated on everything constantly, but maybe that's why the video isn't out there. But like, whatever. It was just like
if you remember at all, what did he say? Like, how has he been affected? I don't know if you like really remembered anything he said.
Yeah, I don't know. He was just talking about how everyone's really been harassing the Turning Point organization and Erika and him and stuff. And how hard that's been.
Interesting. I want to see that video.
Yeah.
It was a 5-minute conversation.
5 minutes is kind of a long time.
Yeah, but it was 4 months. Like, I don't remember the specifics of the conversation.
Okay. Did it seem like he wanted you to speak out, like
against the conspiracies? Yes.
Yeah.
And I did.
Did he tell you to say anything?
No. It was just sort of the like, man, it's been really awful. I can't imagine how bad it's been for you too. And then I don't know if he was guiding me in any particular way. We just sort of had a conversation. And then I went to his event.
Have you talked to him since, or anyone from Turning Point?
Anyone from Turning Point?
Since?
Like the Turning Point chapter? All the time.
Okay.
I know a lot of the people from the Turning Point chapter at UVU, which, by the way, like the low-level guys, right? The chapter at UVU. Right. I don't know anyone from like the Turning Point administration, but like the guys who set up the tables and do debates. Yeah, for sure. I've known them forever. Like, mostly because I'm the dude at that table yelling at them. And they're yelling back, by the way. It's like that's what I always appreciate about them. Like, we always are able to get at it. And I honestly, I feel like I'm like the president of the chapter, Caleb. Like, he's a really good dude. And we've
at UVU.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, like, the chapter doesn't count because they're not technically employees. But as of just a few months ago, Turning Point started paying chapter university leaders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess that does count.
Yeah. But yeah, I know a bunch of the people at the UVU chapter, but I don't know anyone in admin.
And you're on good terms with them?
Most of them. Some of them are little bitches. I'm not going to say explicitly who, but I'm going to shout out Caleb. He's a G. Yeah.
Okay, so you just kind of agree to disagree, but you're nice when you're not talking about
I don't know if
politics. Yeah, I don't know about that.
But yeah, no, whatever. Like, it's like when you're at when you're at those tables, and because they're always the ones affirming it, you know, they're like, I don't know, the Iran war is justified. I'm like, fuck you. I don't know. I don't go that aggressive, but like, I'm like, this, come on. And
Hey, I agree with you on that.
True. I remember there was a big stink. I remember this very well, where like someone asked the question, like, did the moon landing happen? Did we land on the moon? And like, there was a yes or no, and the amount of no's, the yeses were winning, but the no's were like a problem. It was like a lot of people, and I was like picking up the whiteboard. I'm like, everyone needs to look at this. What the fuck is our problem? And like, I don't know. I was sometimes I make scenes. And like, it's all in good fun. I think that I do care about a democracy. And I think if you care about a democracy, you believe in whatever.
Debate.
It's tried to say the marketplace of ideas. Yeah. But like, yeah, I really do believe in engaging people. And I do think that one of the biggest problems in this country right now is the bubbles that we place ourselves in, that we can't actually see each other because we don't see each other. I'm really worried about that. And I really believe in having those conversations.
Nice. I agree with that too. Going back to 9/10 really quick before we get too off topic.
Sure.
Did you notice anything unusual about the security?
Yeah, I've said this before. Well, it was anyone could get in, you know? And like, whatever, it's not, I think that we have a tendency as human beings to not notice the weird things in front of us. But then when something crazy happens, we go, whoa, there were so many weird things happening. It's like, how many weird things happen every day? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like, when I went there, obviously I'm like, oh, sure. It's a college. I've been to college events. Of course, sometimes you don't always have security. Honestly, I just felt weird because it's like, well, I thought I signed up for it, but like, whatever. Like, I think it was just, and I was like, it was probably just a way to figure out how many people were coming here so that they like knew where to go. Cause I think they sort of they decided a little last minute because I kept asking where it was and they couldn't really figure it out. And I think they changed locations a few times and then it like landed on the courtyard because it was facilitating more people. I don't know.
So
I could be wrong about that. I just know that when I asked, they didn't know where exactly it was going to be yet.
I happened to come across this article earlier because I was looking for information on a different topic, which we'll get to later. Okay. Anyway, a part of this article, they're talking about you and...
Who's this by?
ericreports.com. Okay. And I'll have it on the screen here too. I'm going to read this to you really quick. Turning Point USA didn't, and this is referring to 9/10, September 10th. Okay. Turning Point USA did not want the Unfuck America tour there and had refunded Hunter's ticket.
No, that was
snuck in later disguised as a Trump supporter.
Wait, that's not September 10th. That's
not about September 10th.
I don't know what they mean by that, but what they're clearly referring to is the event that happened before in
talking
Florida.
About September 10th.
That's incorrect. Yeah,
it's incorrect.
That's so
debate question.
It was about trans mass shooting.
Yeah, that's really poor reporting. They're referring to the event that I was talking about in Florida. I did sneak in. Like my wife was like, oh, well, my ticket's not refunded. So I put on a Trump hat and I went in and I was like, oh, I'll do a little bit where I'll pretend I'm a Trump supporter. I'll try to sort of gain their trust and then maybe they'll say something crazy. And they did. And that was the little shtick I did and got a decent, I got a decent response. It was.
And you talked about transgender mass shootings at that one too?
No.
Okay, so then that's just
no, they were combining two events. Because the big thing that I was talking about in the moment was immigration. That was a big topic. I sort of asked them why they cared about Trump, and then I sort of followed their lead. So it was kind of a bunch of different things. Okay. A lot of guys talked about Israel. Yeah, I think immigration was the big topic.
So in terms of security on 9/10 itself?
Nothing. Well, there were a bunch of security guards surrounding Charlie, but like to get in, you just walked in.
But did you consciously think to yourself, this is weird?
No, not weird. No, because it's like how many events? Because I've been to campus events. It's like there's never. What are you gonna have, a metal detector? Like it feels.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Was there typically metal detectors at Turning Point events?
I have been to one other Turning Point event, but it was like a building. It was like a stadium. Right, that like had a whole bunch of things, and it also had like fucking Russell Brand was there, and like Roger Stone, and people in like Trump's administration. So it was like, yeah, there were metal detectors there. It was a genuine political risk. This one at UVU, it's like just Charlie Kirk. Like I'm not trying to what?
Well, Charlie Kirk is a major political figure.
Okay, look, I agree with you to some extent, but also one, the concentration, and two, I do think that his influence has been a little bit overstated since he's died. I will say that.
Okay.
Comparing him to fucking like Roger Stone or to I don't know, like actual members of Trump's administration, he doesn't have any political presence.
Statistics on this about how many votes it took for Trump to win and how many were Charlie influenced the younger generation. Do you want to explain that?
I'm explaining statistics to someone who's like majoring in statistics.
I'm already
but this is like also something that I want to talk about.
This,
save this question for later, but where do you get your statistics? How do you know they're accurate? Save it for later. Hold on. So Charlie is known to have secured at least 3.5 million votes for Trump.
How would you determine that? How would you find that?
2.5. Sorry, 2.5. This is a statistic that I saw. I'm not.
How would you? No. I'm saying not even like how did you find this? How could you find this? Because like how could you determine if those people weren't going to vote but now were going to vote? Like are you polling these people and they're saying that they're apolitical? No. But did they? Well, I don't know how they're
a pretty famous statistic. I think.
I
talked to multiple people about this, but. Sorry, if I said 3.5, I meant 2.5.
No, that's fine.
And Hunter, can you let me know how many votes you think Trump won by the last election? Was it 2.2?
I'm not going to know this.
2.2?
Sure.
It was
that sounds right.
It was either 0.2 or 0.3.
Well, it depends. It depends if you're comparing popular votes or you're comparing electoral regions. And that's a different.
I'm not comparing anything.
I think it was the popular vote because.
Well, then that's not going to be
Gen Z and millennials didn't vote
you're
Republican previously as much as they did this recent election.
You're extrapolating popular vote into this is how Trump won, but you have to go regional because the way the electoral system works is, I mean, he only won in like, specific pockets of swing states. So,
but don't you agree that Charlie Kirk did have a major impact on Trump winning?
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I'm not trying to just challenge that. I might challenge the narrative that he single-handedly.
Where the statistics came from.
I promise you, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Promise.
I'm a little bit interested in this, but also there's you can't extrapolate. Yeah, you have to go statewide. You can't look at a national statistic because that's not how we vote. We don't vote nationally. It's not a popular vote. It's electoral. But anyway, sorry, not to get derailed.
I have a crazy question for you.
Okay, I'm excited.
Did you personally see Tyler Robinson or anyone that looked like him
I wasn't
or people
facing him?
Huh?
I wasn't even facing him.
I'm just saying, did you see him on campus at all that day? Did you see other people that looked like him that day?
No. No.
Okay.
I know we've already talked about how it's hard to really remember those moments. The memory can do weird things when it comes to traumatic events like that. Do you remember like the wounds and the injuries pretty vividly or not vividly? Like, do you remember them at all? How long did you look there?
I couldn't even tell you like which side of the neck it was. I think it was the left. My right is left. I don't know.
You saw blood.
For sure. I saw where it hit. I knew in the moment I dropped down, I was like, dude, that dude is dead. Like, you can't survive a hit like that. Like, you just can't.
Did you see him fall?
I remember like, I looked to my left and I tried to like get the hell out of there. Like, because I think his body got like, security put him in like a car or something. I definitely didn't see any of that.
You did not see that?
No. But like I wouldn't have. I was looking, I was trying to get the fuck out of there.
You didn't really focus in on that. You didn't see too many details.
I remember him getting shot and falling, but like I really started worrying about myself after that.
Right. Of course. And
like
your wife's.
I mean, yeah, exactly. My wife was there. I have to go find her.
And so I know you kind of briefly said that you got down and looked at the guy behind you and then you guys walked out of there. Can you explain a little bit more in detail what happened after that? What'd you do?
Low-key, this is a little interesting. So I go under the bridge. I go into the science building. I think it's called the SB. That's right there. I go in and I was like, okay, well, I think everything's low-key okay. I'm going to go find my wife. I'm walking through the hallway and I think everyone else has been informed that there was a gunshot, but like they all thought it was a mass shooting. And so they're fucking cowering in the rooms. And I just sort of like it felt so fucking ghostly. I was like walking down the hallway calmly because I was like, I think everything's okay actually. And I'm looking through and everyone's like terrified, looking up, like freaking out. Like, yeah. So I walk that way. I walk back out to the SB towards the north side of the courtyard. I walk out and I'm like, I want to get my backpack. And I think my wife, I don't know where my wife is anymore, actually. I'm texting her a bunch. We actually swapped phones because my phone has the better camera. But it really fucking pisses me off. I put it on like do not disturb because I was like, I don't want to get a call in the middle of the thing while she's recording and then fuck it up. But it's on do not disturb, so I'm trying to call her and I don't think she's getting the notifications. I walk back over and I'm like, I think my wife's over there. And there was like I think it was a police officer or it was a Turning Point security, I can't remember. And he was like, dude, this isn't about you. Fuck, you know what? You're right. Fuck. Like I could take my time. I walk back up, go into the Hall of Flags at UVU. And I think my wife texted me there to meet her there then. And then, yeah, we meet back up. We're about to leave. And then Shelby's like, hey, you got to talk to a police officer. I'm like, oh, duh. So we go back up to the courtyard and there's someone guy taking notes. And then I give him a quick statement, my phone number and stuff like that. Then leave. I don't know if you want information past that, but like.
If I had a better camera than someone and I'm going up to do an interview, I'd be like, hey, take my phone so you can film me. But why did you take her phone?
So we can still contact each other? What?
Oh, is she not standing like kind of close up there with you?
No, she's kind of on the opposite end.
Oh,
She found a spot, like I'm on the, what is that? South end, kind of.
Got it. Okay.
She's like kind of on the north end, taking a video there. So I've got her phone. So
okay. Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, oh, they're probably close to each other. Why does he need a phone to go?
No, we're kind of pincering.
Okay.
You said a police officer got a statement from you.
Yeah. It was UVU like campus police.
Okay. And did they take your phone at all or want photos or anything immediately?
No, low key. I mean, it's campus police. Like, I think they were very clearly out of their depth.
Did you notice any state police officers there?
Campus police was there like immediately, but I don't think I stuck around long enough to see. Like, I got their statement. I'm like, let me get the fuck out of here. So my wife was there, and then my sister-in-law was there, and my wife's mom was there. We found each other and then drove away.
Okay, and I am curious, what did you do the rest of the day?
Went to the hospital. We went to the hospital. I texted
the hospital that Charlie was at?
No. It's a different hospital. The hospital my daughter's at.
Okay.
Because we got told, my wife got called that like we had to be there or something. I'm like, are you fucking for real? To deal with this shit now? Because I started texting people.
She'd already been discharged. Your daughter had already been discharged.
No, not my daughter. My wife.
Oh, your wife.
My daughter was in the NICU.
She was still in the NICU, but you guys had gotten discharged.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
I started texting people because I know a bunch of people in this space, in the political space. I texted almost immediately Josiah, this dude honoring politics. He's like a really good friend of mine who like is a decently big YouTuber for politics. And he told me later he like dropped his phone. Like he couldn't fucking believe it. My cousin is in my cousin texts me because he's like, don't you go to that school? Like, I think we're going to be going there pretty soon. And I was like, dude, I was the fucking one talking to him. And he's like, stop, you're lying. Like, are you joking? I'm like, no, I actually just looked at those text messages.
So your cousin texted you, dude, Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Yeah. Don't you go to that school?
We just, here, let me see. Because we don't text very often. So it's like.
It's not that hard to find them.
Yeah.
Can I also like pin it up on the screen or is it like private?
No, I could see this. Hunter, it looks like I have to fly into Utah tonight to cover the Charlie Kirk shooting. You were there. I'm with Andrew right now. Oh, okay. So someone else told him or something, like maybe my brother or something. Are you kidding? He got shot while I'm talking to him. No, holy fuck. I'm so sorry. Can we talk to you tonight? And if possible, can you not talk to other news stations?
We want this interview. Do not interview with anybody else.
I ignored that. I didn't really care.
But you followed I guess you kind of followed that. By the way, before we leave, like the actual day, what time did you leave campus?
Oh, well, it's such a hard question. There's bumper to bumper traffic because everyone fucking left the school at the same time. So like, when did we start leaving? Probably within like 15 minutes, after like 15 minutes of the shot. I don't know. Like it really, I found my wife. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. The statement took like less than a minute, you know, like I really didn't give a lot of information. I didn't feel like there was a lot of information to give. Honestly, you didn't really ask that much. So yeah, I don't know. I left pretty soon, but like it probably took like 30, 45 minutes to get the hell out. And we had to drive all the way over to Walmart because we parked over there.
Your mother-in-law or someone drove you to the parking lot in
Correct.
Walmart? Okay. And you didn't go back on campus at all?
No, not until Monday,
Okay.
5 days later, when campus opened back up.
Okay. And how many times have you spoken with investigators?
So I spoke to the police officer that moment. My father-in-law, because I saw conspiracy theories like immediately, and I was like, this doesn't look good. I was literally talking about shootings when he got shot. This is fucking crazy. I saw a lot of conspiracy theories immediately because like there weren't a lot of the other characters who had developed the other people you were mentioning, Blake, whatever,
like the other content
photographer.
creators
Yes.
who are like
No, not the other content creators, the other dudes who conspiracies.
Oh, Brian Harple and the
like
security
the
team.
photographer
Those
Charles,
people like
the
that, all
cinematographer,
those people. I was sort of the first dude because they're like, well, what about that guy talking?
And you
Let's go
didn't
talk to
know
him.
there was anything transgender related yet, but you were still talking about
Yes,
shooting.
dude. I remember my attorney fucking texted me because they found that. Huh?
You have an attorney?
My father-in-law got me an attorney because I saw that there were conspiracy theories, and my father-in-law was like, dude, you're like the FBI's coming for you. I was like, fuck. So he has there was like a lawsuit or something that he was involved like 10 years ago. He's like, this is a good dude here. He's gonna help you out. I think he actually either the attorney did it pro bono or my father-in-law paid that attorney. I don't know which one, but I didn't get a bill. So shout out that dude. I don't know which dude, but shout them out. Yeah, so I got an attorney within like a day or two. And what really motivated that was there was a press conference that day where my governor and I think the local sheriff or something was being interviewed, and someone said, what about that guy who was asking the question, is he going to be detained? And then I think the sheriff was like, we don't know who that is, but we are looking intensely. I'm like, I'll tell you who it was. It was me. Like, don't come looking. I am here. Like, I will. So I was like, I thought I was going to get like pulled in, talk to my attorney. My attorney reached out to the FBI. And then the FBI, and then my attorney was like, okay, there's two different ways that this is going to go. The first is they're going to be willing to have an in-phone interview and just like ask a few questions. That's a good sign. And then the bad sign is, no, you have to come in for hearing, right? You're going to have to like come in for a testimony. And like, that means you are very potentially a witness. I never got told I was explicitly not a witness, but it was the first one. They just asked for a phone interview. It was while I was in the hospital, probably like a day or two later.
When you say witness, do you mean suspect?
Sorry, that is what I meant. Okay. I was obviously a witness. I meant suspect. Yeah, it is weird. Like I'm already like rattled just thinking about it. But like, yeah, probably 2 or 3 days later, I had a phone interview, talked to some detectives.
Do you know what agencies they were from?
The FBI.
The FBI?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember their names anymore.
Like the federal FBI or the state FBI?
Is there a difference?
Well, there's like the Utah FBI.
I don't know.
And then there's
question.
Cash Patel's FBI. I mean, I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that's
no idea how it functions.
Yeah, some are employed by, I think they're still employed at the federal level, but they work specifically for the Utah.
I mean, the F in the FBI stands for federal, so I feel confused as to like what a state FBI is, but I don't know how any of this works, so I could be very wrong. I'm not trying to challenge you one bit.
Yeah, well, there's like the SBI, which is the State Bureau of Investigation, and there's a Utah specific one.
I feel like it was the FBI.
You have like a voicemail or something?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm trying to remember exactly how this happened because I'm trying to even remember what my attorney's name was. I had him for like a day.
Think about it from like the conspiracy standpoint. Like there are all of these FBI, all of these investigators that are like, oh, that person might be in on it. But if someone's contacting you and interviewing you, they clearly don't know anything. Yeah, if you say that you're not involved in any of this and there's an FBI
let me go back to
investigator contacting you, then they're clear. Do you happen to know?
I don't know
When you said it was within a couple of days that you got an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Within like a couple of days.
I don't like genuinely. I don't even remember his name.
Wow.
Spoke with the assistant Utah County attorney that is handling the investigation. He was appreciative that you reached out to me. He said he is very busy with the investigation, but will reach back out to me soon. I think you, Shelby, and I just need to keep our eyes on media to see if there's any significant discussion about you out there. I just heard back they may wish to interview you tonight. The detective is going to get back to me. This was September 11th. So this was one day after at 3:50 p.m. Yeah, don't say his name out loud though.
I won't.
Just because I don't want to get him involved in all this shit too. I'm happy to send you guys a screenshot. This is the stuff that I sent with the attorney.
Assistant Utah County attorney.
And if you see there later, I remember him texting me about Tyler Robinson once he got found. He's like, dude, you got to check your Discord just to make sure you never, like, did you ever message this dude? Have you ever seen this?
So this is like September 11th at 3:50 p.m.
Yeah, I've got a Discord.
I spoke with the officer. I wish he would say what the name is.
Mm.
Oh, okay. No, that's his email, not the officer's email. Let's talk again before the deputy arrives. Do you mind if I read these?
I don't care. Oh, I remember I sent emails of the videos to the deputy. No, to the federal deputy,
FBI.
the FBI dude. Yeah,
The
that
agent.
I could find it. It was NW Harris at FBI.gov. I don't mind saying that out loud.
NW, like N like for Nancy.
Right there, you see it? NW Harris at FBI.gov.
Did you see it, Brandi? I didn't see it.
And so what kind of questions were they asking you?
I remember they asked where I parked and how I had gotten to campus. They were like, I think it was pretty clear that they were like checking against video footage.
Mm-hmm.
Like simultaneously checking video footage as
No. It's like, we have this shit. Tell me like where you are so we can figure out like where you were located.
So you're like,
so we know which camera to check. Yeah.
That check.
Because I checked it, yeah, and I think I like went under the bridge and yeah, whatever. So I think they had a bunch of video and they were just like checking to see where I was. It was pretty clear I wasn't like a suspect at all. Like they were just like, thanks for coming in. Give us some base information. I don't remember the exact question. It was a pretty short questioning.
Were they focusing in on any questions about why did you ask the transgender shooting question?
No, not at all.
Oh, did it?
No. Because, yeah, true. I think that most detectives understand that it really doesn't make a lot of sense to give like a vocal, whatever, like some sort of, I don't know what the fuck to call it, some like signal for him to shoot. If he's got a fucking open target, he's going to shoot. Like it's never made sense to me how it even makes sense that people would think that I don't know. It doesn't make any sense why people would think that it would make sense.
Okay. Were you ever asked to not talk about anything?
No.
By anyone?
No. What do you mean by that?
Like, were you asked not to discuss anything publicly?
No, like by the FBI? Well, the answer is no. I'm just trying to think of like what you could mean by that. No, the FBI didn't say anything.
Okay. Let's go back to Z.
Okay.
And do you know who Destiny is?
Yeah, I know Steven.
His name's Steven?
Mm-hmm.
Steven Destiny? Is that?
He goes by Destiny.
Okay.
We've like met a few times.
So both of those are Unfuck America Tour people?
Yes. Yeah, Destiny's like a big streamer dude.
Okay.
He does political content. I've done debates with him like probably a dozen times.
Okay.
Okay, so shortly after the shooting, there was a call, I believe on like a live stream.
There's a call?
With Z and Destiny.
Oh, okay.
And it received a lot of attention online. Are you familiar with that?
This sounds vaguely familiar from like a conspiracy I've seen. I don't think I've seen the video.
Okay.
I have a little article on it if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Further controversy. While Destiny, aka I guess Steve,
Okay.
While Destiny was online streaming, Charlie Kirk was killed. Soon after, Z called him saying, "We're fucked, we're fucked." Destiny quickly ended the call, and that was the end of the stream. So no one ever got any more information. And
well, it makes sense that I think she's worried about her brand right then, because she's like,
you're associated.
Yeah. Well, I think I know I messaged like, I'm not trying to throw her under the bus too. Whatever. I messaged Kyla almost immediately, who's another like big debate person. She's like, hey, this was me. It was me talking. She had reached out because I sent a picture to her and a couple other people, like, oh, at the UVU thing. So once it happened, like they were like, oh fuck, wasn't Hunter there? And then like I was like, I wasn't just there. I was the one asking the fucking question. And so I think it got to Z pretty quick, or maybe Z was part of those messages.
Yeah, sounds like Z was on the line.
Or she recognized me in the video. I don't remember. But she's like, well, a lot of our organization is like confronting Charlie Kirk. So it's like, fuck, people are going to think that, like, I don't know. I think that makes a little bit of sense. And then Steven probably realized, like, it doesn't look good that you're saying it like that. You're saying it, and why would you say that out in open? I think that makes sense.
Okay, so
there's a lot of conspiracies that, like, well, I guess the question is, like, I never understand this from a conspiracy theorist point of view. Why would she call a live stream if that was genuine? If she was actually like, oh, what is she calling about? Because I'm just trying to use like Occam's razor. I haven't talked to either. I don't know either of them very well. Like, I know Steven a little bit because we've done a bunch of debates together. We've messaged a few times. I've done, like, I've been in person, but like I've never really like hung out with him. I don't think, not really. Z, like, yeah, I know her. Like,
so you spoke to her after this happened?
Yeah. I went to a Las Vegas event afterward. Like 3 months afterward or so, there was a UFA event in Vegas that I went to, and Steven was there too. I don't know. I never really get along that much with Z, and Steven's sort of always in his own universe. He's a lot more popular than sort of the other dudes.
So I guess after September 10th, did your relationship with Z change?
I never really liked how aggressive she went towards Erika Kirk. I think she really went with the bandwagon there on like how antagonistic she was, and I never really liked that. So I really kind of stopped chatting with. I pulled myself away from the organization pretty soon. Well, not crazy soon, probably like a few months ago, but I don't know. I was kind of uncomfortable with the direction it went, so I sort of drifted away. It's like no real hard feelings. Like, I'm glad what she does, and I think still watch some of the videos they put out, and they care about debate, and I care about debate.
Okay, so just to clarify, I thought you said that you left the after the Florida event.
No, the Florida event was before the shooting.
No, I know that, but I thought that you weren't part of UFA during the UVU.
Not officially. I was a part of that organization. I wasn't there on official business. Does that make sense?
Got it. Okay.
I was like, well, they're at my university. The UFA is like, we can only do so many events. It's not like we can't just go to every single thing that Charlie Kirk's event. We don't have the manpower to do that.
Okay.
But I'm like, I'll just go by myself.
So you're still with UFA on September 10th. You're just not representing them.
Correct.
Got it.
Great way to put it.
And so you did kind of have a brief conversation with Z and Steven after the UVU event, but then you didn't talk to her in person until Las Vegas?
I talked to them individually.
Okay.
I don't know, like in a group. I remember Steven reaching out to me because he's like, wait, hold on. Fuck, were you that dude? I remember you messaged me on Discord that.
Okay. And we're not saying that they're suspicious. I'm just trying to understand what UFA is and how you guys all communicate and everything. Okay.
So you left just a couple of months ago, you said? So that's far after September 10th, obviously. So I guess the reason that you left isn't necessarily...
It was, there's a lot of like stupid politics behind the scene that I just like kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to like throw them under the bus. Like I don't want to talk ill of them, I guess is what I'm saying. But like creative differences, whatever.
So looking back, is there anything that you wish that the tour would have handled differently after September 10th? And you kind of...
Yeah, I think that they went too aggressive against Erika Kirk.
Okay.
I mean, like, obviously, I don't like her. I mean, I say that's obvious because I don't know how many people know my lore. You know, it's like I went to
Wait, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Oh, okay, sure, we can get into that later. But I don't like her. I think that she's I think she's very thoughtless. I think she's very careless. I think that she doesn't know how to run an organization, and that she wants, basically, she doesn't want a political organization. She wants a Christian organization. Whatever. I can criticize her all day. I still think that there's some decent respect that you can give to someone who lost a husband. That's my personal opinion.
I'll counter that really quick. I don't think she wants a Christian organization or a political organization. I think she wants fame and power.
I definitely disagree, but that's whatever. It doesn't matter. That's my read on Erika. I don't know. Obviously, people disagree.
We can move past that now, and we're going to get into some more of the insane coincidences or occurrences where people are like, oh, Hunter Kozak is really involved in this 100%. So the first appearance of you after the Charlie Kirk event was the next day. It was
that night.
Well, it was released the next day, and that was
okay, sure.
That was what everyone was kind of investigating. So
sure,
they were.
Well, hold on. I thought you said that you went to the hospital and you went home.
This was at like 2 a.m.
Okay.
This interview happened because he took like a flight from. Where did he say he was? Like somewhere on the East Coast or something like that. He took like the first flight out, and then it got delayed a little bit. Because he knew he wanted to do a story as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna drop the current project, whatever. So he got there like 10 hours later, but he took the first flight out of wherever he was and then got Andrew, did.
Yeah, Andrew Callaghan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was what a lot of people were wondering, like, why is this video is being released like a day and a half later, but Hunter Kozak's wearing the same clothes as before, so it must have been filmed that night.
Yeah, it was.
So when and how did Andrew initially contact you?
Well, the reason why he got there first is because Liam worked for Andrew. My cousin worked for Andrew. My cousin worked for Andrew. So I trusted Liam. I was very worried about conspiracy theorists. I was very worried about the way that I was going to be perceived. And I wanted someone who I knew had my best interests. So I hit up my cousin. Well, Liam reached out to me first and I was like, honestly, I want to do it with you. Like, this makes the most sense. Like, New York Times is already on my fucking, like, calling me. Like, I want to go with you guys first for sure. So they called me, and I told them where I lived, So it's like, that's why they got there first, is because everyone else had to go through like normal avenues or like try to figure out where I lived. But I just went straight up. I'm like, Liam, you can just tell him to come right here. So I got there pretty quick.
Okay.
Fun fact really quick. And I know you both already know this, so I'll break the fourth wall again. I actually know Liam, and I've known him for years through TikTok, basically. I used to do TikTok. I lived in a van, and Liam was a big TikToker.
That's why you're part of this conspiracy too.
I met Liam through TikTok way back in like 2020, 2021, just because we were both big TikTokers. And I'm going to throw up a TikTok that he went viral for that I really loved at the time. And I actually texted him when I heard Baron Coleman bringing up his name. I was like, I know who that is. Oh my gosh. I texted him. I was like, dude, I can't find your TikTok. You wiped it all. What's going on? And he's like, oh, well, because I became a journalist. And so that's not very professional. And none of his TikToks were like super unprofessional, but I thought that was funny.
Genuine question.
Yeah.
And like,
whatever. If you want to save it for yours, you can
probably.
Also, if you want to write it down really quick.
Yeah.
But something that I will say is I think that's a huge coincidence that I know him. And I can see where, coincidences happen in life. I do believe in coincidences to an extent, but there are so many with the Charlie Kirk case and the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory that I think that's too many coincidences. And I'm not saying you.
Do you know what post hoc probability is?
No.
For example, you shuffle a deck of cards. Do you know what the chances of shuffling a completely unique deck of cards is? Like what the specific probability is? It's 1/52 factorial, which is essentially more than there are atoms in the universe. It's like whenever you shuffle a deck of cards, it's going to be completely unique every time. Post hoc probability is, for example, you hand someone a deck of cards. Maybe this is going to go over your head. I don't know. Maybe sorry if maybe that was a little rude to say right there. You shuffle a deck of cards, you hand that to the other person, and you go, what's the probability that I just shuffled that? And they go, literally 1/52 factorial. That couldn't have happened. What an insane coincidence that it happened to be that exact set of cards. Now, what post hoc probability basically states is that you can't look at the probability after the event has already occurred, because random unique events happen so often and so simultaneously that like if you ever were to like analyze the very specific probability in that moment without first identifying it before it were to happen, everything looks unique. Everything looks like, whoa, what a crazy, crazy coincidence. But you didn't call it beforehand. So it's actually not. That's going to be my little math spiel. Sorry.
Okay, I'll hold on.
But you can look up post hoc probability. I think there's a lot of really good writings on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can I also just shout out really quick? So Brandi and I are going to be interviewing Liam because he just so happens to be in town. Brandi's going to be posting this.
Another coincidence. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
his family lives here.
His family does live
That's
here.
not why he's here.
Utah holiday, but
That's not why he's here.
oh, okay, whatever. I guess I'll talk to him about that later.
Everything's
but
a coincidence, huh?
just-
When you look at it that way.
I just wanted to shout out the fact that shout out my YouTube channel. I just wanted to let the audience know that if you guys want to see our interview with Liam, which we'll probably try to release it on the same day, you can go to my YouTube channel, and then this interview with you, Hunter, is going to be on Brandi's YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. How did you end up on 60 Minutes, and who connected you with them?
This is a great ass question, because guess what? I don't know. How does every journalist have my number? They just like have some fucking database and they just go type in Hunter Kozak and they have my address and they have my phone number. I had this explained to me one time because like apparently you can buy this if you have like the right sort of credentials or whatever. You can just buy people's information like very, very, very easily. If you have credentials, you can just buy the information. I think. I don't know exactly how it works. But yeah, I got text messages from so many people like, hey, I'm with CNN, hey, I'm with New York Times, hey, I'm with all over like you could check my text messages just like for the next month. It's just, yeah. So yeah, they just reached out. They just texted me or called me.
Search 60 Minutes in your text and see if you can find like that initial text.
I think it was a call.
You answer unknown calls?
I had to because I didn't know if it was the police calling or not. Would you be able to do an interview with 60 Minutes? Hi, Hunter. This is someone with 60 Minutes. I don't know if I want to say it out loud. Hey, and for speaking with us yesterday, they called us. They called me. Okay. I'm adding my colleague, this person, to our chats. We're all in the loop. We were deeply moved by your Channel 5 interview. We'd like to film an interview with you for 60 minutes, primarily focused on the need for civility and healthy discourse. You have a powerful perspective to share with the country. Can we have coffee or lunch tomorrow to discuss? We hope to film the interview on Wednesday morning. We'll discuss more tomorrow. They went to campus. I met them on campus. And I really talked a lot about, there was something that
Before you end it, can you take a screenshot? I promise I'll blank the name out and send it to Brandi and I. But
it's like, it doesn't really matter. Well, no, I think it matters.
So someone clearly called you the day before and then you got that text.
Yeah. And then we went to UVU to just talk. There was a real big need that I had to make sure that it was framed in a good way. And we talked about the way that this was going to be framed. And I'm trying to remember like what I felt was missing in I don't know. I gave my little like 2 cents to the producers. Like, hey, I think this narrative really matters. I can't remember what specifically it was.
What do you mean by that? Like you wanted it to be framed in a certain way?
Probably wasn't this, but it was something like, hey, I feel like he's being treated as a martyr right now, and I want to have a more nuanced story. I want to talk about the complexities of it. It wasn't that, because I know we didn't talk about that, but it's something like that, where it's like, I would prefer questions to be about this specific, in this specific vein, because this is something that I care about right now, and I'm more willing to do this if I feel like you guys can meet me on the question. So.
Okay, so no one helped you arrange that interview. They just reached out to you directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that you were kind of letting them know what you maybe wanted to talk about if they would be willing to, but were you given any specific guidelines or any guidance on what to say before speaking publicly?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they have a lot of cutting privileges, they can cut it how they want, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I was a little underwhelmed by 60 Minutes. I feel like they were asking really dumb questions and not really getting to the heart of what I find interesting about the story. But
can you give an example of one of the dumb questions?
I hate to call you guys out, but it's something like, how did you get there? No one your audience actually probably cares.
So they didn't give you any topics to avoid at all?
Who's they? Who are we talking about?
60 Minutes.
No.
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 Okay.
I actually really like the producers over there.
Okay. And then did anyone help coordinate your media appearances afterwards?
No.
Okay, so how did you end up on?
She actually tried to. She was like, do you have a media consultant? Because she kept getting harassed by a bunch of people who were like, hey, I'm trying to get in contact. And she's like, should be a person, but I always find that boring. It's like, why am I doing that? Just hit me up directly.
Okay, so how did you get on Bari Weiss's town hall with Erika Kirk? Bari Weiss called you directly?
No. Some producer at CBS. I don't know.
Cold
Okay.
called?
Yes.
Wow. Instagram exists, people.
Man, I do think, hold on. I think for 60 Minutes, the producer did also message me on Twitter or something like that. I don't know. It's all such a blur because for like 3 months, it was just like
back to back.
Yeah, just journalists constantly. So who knows? But yeah, no, I think the CBS one was a lot later. So yeah, they cold called me and yeah, I picked up.
Do you think it's kind of odd that Bari Weiss wanted you to come on with Erika Kirk when that was Charlie's wife and
Why?
you were going to debate him? You had a difference of opinion.
Sure. Well, it's a town hall.
Okay.
I don't know. I think honestly and genuinely, maybe this is just a me thing because clearly Erika doesn't know what a town hall is either. A town hall is supposed to be like, hey, I'm in charge of this political organization now. Let me ask questions from people who really care about this. I felt like they had seen my interviews and they sort of knew I cared about this topic and I'm decently well spoken, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, a town hall is supposed to be a little bit of a challenge. You know, it's supposed to be a little bit confrontational. And I'm saying that in quotes, like obviously there's dignity and there's respect that we should be given. But like, yeah, I've seen 1,000 politicians' town halls. I've been to politicians' town halls. Like, I don't know if I've ever been to one who's just like the head of an organization like Erika is, but like, she's not just a widow. She was the head of TPUSA. So it makes sense that she wants to ask challenging questions. And we did have a conversation right before Bari pulled me in just to have like a 5-minute conversation before it actually occurred. And I was like, I actually asked her to do something, funnily enough. Cause I was like, I really care about this. I think that she needs to be treated with respect as a widow. I think that matters. But I also think that she's now the head of the largest conservative organization in America. And that also matters. And I'm worried that she's going to slip away from the conversation. And if you could just ask some follow-ups, or if I could ask some follow-ups, that would be awesome. And that's what I asked of her. And if you watch the thing, she actually she gives like a second, like trying to sort of put her feet to the fire a little bit. And I think that was mostly because I asked her to.
Were you the only one that was opposing views compared to what Erika believes?
At the town hall? No.
Yeah.
No. Did you watch the whole thing?
I did. It was months ago, but there was other, I guess.
Yeah, there was
liberals there.
Liberals might be a strong word. There was a guy who he had his he was so mad at Erika afterward. There was this guy who lost his daughter in an anti-Semitic shooting.
Okay.
And he was asking her about ways to that Turning Point could do a better job integrating Jewish issues into their fold. And Erika was just like, we just got to accept Jesus in our hearts. I'm like, what the fuck kind of question? How do you say that to a Jewish dude? He doesn't believe in Jesus. Like, that's a crazy thing to say. He was fuming. Anyway, but yeah, like it was questions like that, you know, I don't know.
Okay. And what was your question for her again?
It was I prefaced it with like, thank you for coming out against all of the people in my camp. So my so-called camp who are mocking this tragedy, who think it's funny. I think you and I both agree that political violence is horrible. Sometimes I feel like there's maybe a little bit of hypocrisy going on. It's hard to challenge political violence when in your camp you support someone like Donald Trump, who has said multiple times that we should hang sitting congressmen. Do we not find that condemnable, essentially? Like, can't you condemn that? And then she didn't. So.
And what was her answer?
Bunch of word salad, bunch of stuff that I don't know. She was just like,
we'll just play it, actually.
Yeah,
right
sure.
After you say word salad, overlay her answer.
Erika, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity. And I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno. And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth, who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month, President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that Turning Point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry them. But any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
I appreciate your question. You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people? This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family. This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself. No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim of it. I'm a victim of it. But what I'm trying to say here is that we can blame everyone else. We have to look in the mirror. When you become a father, when you become a mother, how are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad or look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole and see what you can learn from that instead of being a parent. So my call to action from that is, parents, step up. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin? That's where we're at.
Was your question at all scripted, or did it have to be approved before you said it?
Funnily, kind of, in a sense, not really. The answer is not really. I said beforehand, before CBS even called, I said, I want to have a question about political violence. I know that that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the hypocrisy that Donald, this had just happened. Right before they called us, Donald Trump made that tweet, or not tweet. It was a True Social post. I talked to a couple of my buddies actually in social media. I talked to Adam Mockler. I talked to Josiah from Pondering Politics. I talked to a couple of people in that space that I know. Like, I really want to format this well. So we talked about a whole bunch of different ways to format it. I came up with a question fully independent. Well, not independently, with some help, but not with CBS at all. And then went to the town hall. And I remember they squished it for size. Like, they were like, this is just a long question, so we're going to cut some of it. And then when they gave me the final approved thing, some of the information was incorrect. So I like wrote down, with a paper, with a pencil, I like scrawled some notes about it.
Did write down your question and send it into CBS.
Yeah, and they printed it out for me. And then I wrote some things about it, and then. And
are you aware? Do you know if it got sent to Erika before you were?
No clue.
Before you said it, you don't know.
Obviously, Bari knew my question, but no.
Okay.
Because we talked about it right before.
Okay.
Do you think that, if you were to guess, do you think that Erika was taken aback by it?
It's hard to say. I can't really read Erika that well.
No comment.
I think that she's dumb enough that when she thinks that she can just sort of skate off of sympathy rather than have a substantive answer. So when she saw the answer, she's like, well, I can just have the sympathy there. And I think a lot of people, I think she's been surprised by how few people are okay with that. I think they want a lot more substance than she's willing to give. And I think my personal opinion is she just doesn't have a lot of substance to her.
I agree with that completely. Was there any other fallout online after that?
Fallout?
like any other creators that commented on like the question that you asked her, how she answered?
Or you just being there in general?
Yeah, I mean, I got covered by, I don't know if these names mean anything to you. Oh, Jack Posobiec. Sorry, I thought you were saying from my camp, because like Hassan covered me, and I got interviewed by Luke Beasley and a couple other. But yeah, Jack Posobiec specifically went on Piers Morgan. I think it was Piers Morgan, and mentioned me by name and how disgusting it was that I went to the interview and asked her that question. And then when we went to Amfest, you guys were also at Amfest. We didn't see each other there, but I was at Amfest and Jack Posobiec was at Amfest, and he specifically said by name Hunter Kozak. It was unbelievable that he asked that question.
Like on mic at Amfest?
Yeah.
Did he like point at you?
No, I wasn't there. I was outside.
That's where we were outside too. We weren't in.
Yeah. No, that would be crazy if you pointed me out. But then I knew it happened because a bunch of people came up to me afterward and go, "Why the fuck didn't you condemn the shooting?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Of course I condemn the shooting. Like what are we talking about?"
And I think Megyn Kelly said something.
Yeah, it was Jack Posobiec and Megyn Kelly who were at the thing. Megyn Kelly was horrified when then Jack Posobiec was like, "Hunter Kozak was the guy, by the way."
All right. Well, now moving on back to Jacobi. Can you explain who that is?
He's a dude who works for, I don't know, works for him. I think he's a volunteer he goes to UVU.
Okay.
And is a Turning Point employee, volunteer.
Okay. And did you know him prior to 60 Minutes?
No, that's the first time I met him.
Okay. Random that he got picked to be on 60 Minutes as well, wasn't it? He didn't ask a question, did he?
I don't know what random means. I mean, I know that the specific avenue that they were going down was because our governor, Spencer Cox, talks a lot about sort of the bridge between the left and the right has become very undividable, or like has been very unbridgeable, and that he's trying to bridge it. And so he works a lot with the Arizona governor to sort of bridge the gap because he's a Democrat, Cox is a Republican. Mm-hmm. So I know that was the avenue that 60 Minutes was trying to go through, was a liberal and a conservative can still come together and meet and agree how horrible it was. They were picking a particularly conservative person from the event. So I think it makes sense to go through Turning Point and find someone who was there. I don't know if that's random.
Okay, so did you ever talk to Jeb Jacobi about the incident at UVU on September 10th when another TPUSA employee was shoving him?
No, I've never talked to him about it.
Do you know what incident we're referring to?
Yes. I've seen the video. I wasn't there, but yeah.
Okay. And he never brought it up when you guys were at 60 Minutes together?
We haven't really had a lot of conversations.
Okay.
I talked to him very briefly. I've seen him on campus and we've had a couple chats, but yeah, I don't really,
okay. I'm so curious why that employee was pushing him and telling him.
I don't recognize him at all. So
the guy that was shoving him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you wouldn't say that you and Jeb are like close friends or anything? No. You wouldn't really know how he got on 60 Minutes?
No, I think he did an interview. Sorry, I was just looking him up. Because we were talking about him. He did like an interview like right after the thing. So on News Nation or something. So it makes sense that 60 Minutes.
10.
Yeah, like a few days after.
So maybe 60 Minutes found him through the News Nation interview or something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I don't know. No clue.
Your brother attended prom with Taylor Shaladine, who later appeared on News Nation.
Oh, okay.
Did you know her before September 10th?
No.
Had you met her?
No.
Even though your brother went to prom with her?
He is 12 years younger than me. So, yeah, no, I had like a wife and kids. I'm not like, I didn't live at home. I didn't. Also, like, I come from a big Mormon family. We've got a bunch of brothers. Like,
how many?
7. I'm second of 7.
Wow.
So
7 boys?
Mm-hmm. And
wow.
My brother's the one who took Taylor to prom is 7th. So
okay.
It's like, yeah, I have never seen that person before.
So you didn't speak with her on September 10th?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever spoken with her?
No.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy though?
What?
Like the coincidences, like.
But everything looks like a coincidence.
I'm telling you, I think it's crazy that I know your cousin Liam, and I'm gonna bring him up here in just a second too. Mm-hmm. But I'll admit, like, wow, what a crazy coincidence! Don't you think that that's a crazy coincidence that your brother, like, that was one of the top interviews of attendees that went to the Charlie Kirk event
Mhm.
was a girl that went to prom with your younger brother, who you're saying you've never met before. I believe you, but don't you think that's crazy?
I think I'm gonna nerd out for just half a second.
Again,
Sorry. I think when we ever look at the probability of a specific event, we fail to multiply it by the amount of potential events that are occurring. Like how many times do you meet someone and you haven't known anyone you know? Like all of those times compile, and you have to correspond that with the times that you meet someone who is like, oh, what the fuck? What a weird coincidence. Like it's really not when you compare it to all of the other times where nothing happens. Does that make sense?
so you don't.
I'm going to be such a nerd about this, and I'm sorry to give an unsatisfying answer.
Okay, but like step out of the nerd for a second.
Mhm.
Step out of the nerd body and
Okay.
just like look at it. All of the crazy coincidences. Yeah.
What are all of the crazy coincidences?
Oh,
That
God.
might
question that you asked and
Mhm. Wait, hold on. I think it's very possible that Tyler heard that question and then thought that that was an opportune time to ask to shoot. I think that that's possible. I don't know.
rooftop.
I don't know. I don't know how bad. I don't know how good those mics were or speakers were. I have no clue. And like, fair enough. Maybe it was a coincidence that he just shot at that moment. But also, like, you also have to take into consideration how often he's talking about shootings all the time. He's a political commentator. Like, it's a very like it was so easy to pull up clips about how he felt about gun rights, how he felt about mass shootings, and like compare that to this current event because it's a very common political talking point, especially in the moment. And also, I would bet that a common event brought both me and Tyler to the situation, which is the shooting that happened 2 weeks earlier, right? Charlie had made very explicit statements about how gun rights should be taken away from trans people. And that motivated me to come to the event because I'm like, well, I want to challenge him on this. And that obviously I don't know, obviously. I can't get into Tyler's head. I don't fucking know. But I would bet that Tyler was motivated in a similar direction, obviously in a more aggressive way than I did.
Okay, but dude, come on. Just look. So that, whatever. We'll throw that one out if you'd like. But then like Taylor Baldine, like,
What is
being associated with, hold on. I'm not
Okay.
And then your cousin Liam working for like this big like news outlet, and he's able to get there the same day. And also what like Jimmy Kimmel having that crazy experience where he's almost taken off air. And come on.
I understand. I understand what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have no idea what the fuck you're saying.
Do you not?
Hold on.
Look back, take a step back and look at it and think, whoa.
Of course.
That's all I want to
Of course.
That's all I need.
But I also challenge myself all the time to stop doing that because there's a human bias there. And I think that I become a lot genuinely happier. I think I become more aware of the situation itself or what it is when I sort of place myself back into the rest of humanity and say like, something that I often think about is like I feel like a fucking like a 1 out of 20 billion people sometimes. I'm like, I happen to be there. What a crazy fucking situation that no one else has been through. Try to think of like people. I had to think of like David Hogg for someone who's been through something similar, where like they were at something horrific, and then also conspiracy theories like cropped up so much out of it. But it's also like, I think of like Renee Good's wife or something who was shot by ICE. She was in so many headlines and she was there at the event. And I bet she has that exact feeling where she's like, I was a 1 in 20 billion situation. What a fucking freak accident it was. It's like, how many freak accidents genuinely happen every day? Like, I think that it's like, I feel grateful that so many people were aware of it. Like the way that I've stepped outside of the situation of itself is sort of recognizing that like, I feel grateful with how many eyes are on this, because when it happened, everyone I've ever known texted me and asked me if I was okay. And a lot of people who go through a lot worse situations don't get that.
That's true.
And I just, that's just something that like helps me a lot. So that's something that I try to do. And I don't know, like weirdly enough, I was just in DC the other day at like a political conference, and some dude was like, dude, your dad is like, I'm best friends with your dad's best friend's son or something. Like, I know it's a little bit of weird, but it's low-key kind of close. And like, I was like, wait, hold on, I was in that cabin. And he was like, dude, I was in that cabin this summer. Like, and it sounds like a crazy coincidence, and it was like a kind of interesting little tidbit that we had right there. But there was no conspiracy surrounding it, so it didn't make newsworthy news. Does that make sense? Like,
Who was that person?
Well, I'm not gonna say him out loud. His name's Sam. I don't know.
Is he like in the government?
No, no, he's just a dude who was at a political conference. What
conference was it?
LibCon. I don't know. Is this interesting?
LibCon?
LibCon. Hell yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Is this interesting?
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is, like, the fact that you and I both know Liam, right? Like, that's a weird coincidence, huh?
How do you know Liam?
True. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so I have another comment to make. So
Yeah.
the person that was doing the
Wait.
interview.
Can I give one more example real quick?
Sure.
My brother's roommate went to high school with me and is not Mormon. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing here in Utah? Like, what a weird coincidence that like you happen to be here. And if a shooting happened, that every conspiracy theorist would be thinking about that. But I don't even register that. I don't even think about it. I'm like, oh, it's actually pretty crazy. I don't actually even remember you, but that's kind of crazy. You went to my high school. If all eyes were on that, everyone would go, what the hell is the possibility that happened? But because it was a normal event and we just kind of got drunk that night and then just sort of like moved on from our lives, it fully erased from my memory. And how often do those events erase from our memory and we don't think about it?
That's true. And maybe we can move this to the end of the video just because it's so much chit chat. But
Mhm.
on that same note, I don't know if you know how Brandi and I met.
No.
So we met in Portugal.
Mhm.
And
Oh, that's right. You know, you guys were saying this, that like, you're like, wait, hold on. I'm from that town. You guys were like, we're both from.
I was talking
No.
about
Oh,
being in Salt Lake.
what was the
It
coincidence?
was like 4 a.m. in a McDonald's in Portugal.
Uh-huh.
And she overhears me and she's like, wait, I'm moving there next month.
Oh, that's what it is.
2 months or something.
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's connect once I get there.
Right.
And so
Right.
she moves here. We end up being friends. We're not like super, super close. We probably hung out 10 to 20 times in that
6,
year.
7.
10 to 20.
Mhm.
Succession.
And then all of this happens. So, you know.
Yeah. And because there's nothing consequential about that meeting, it's a coincidence. But if there was something consequential, then it'd go, hold on, the Jews must be behind it. You know, like it's like.
We need to get back to Taylor Valdine because there's more. And that's the, the girl from that video.
Yeah, I think everyone was freaking out because she got interviewed and not once did she say, I knew the guy who asked the question. And the answer is because she didn't know the guy who asked the question. We had no idea that we knew each other.
Well,
we didn't know each other.
I wanted to ask if the girl that she did the interview with, she's connected to Phil Lyman. I guess
that sounds familiar. I don't know who that is. Phil Lyman?
He's in the government in Utah.
He's a candidate for governor, right? For governor?
Okay.
No, he was.
Okay.
He's a former Utah state representative. He's a Republican.
For Senate?
Maybe I don't know this dude.
Taylor was being interviewed with, what's her name? I forgot her name specifically, but her aunt is connected to Phil Lyman, and he ran for
governor.
Yes, and then also for Congress.
Okay.
So I was just curious, do you know Phil Lyman personally?
No, I don't know Phil Lyman personally.
Okay. Just had to ask.
What if I said yes? What would be
I would ask you.
Just a fun coincidence. I don't know. Like, I don't.
You're connected to Taylor. Taylor was talking to someone who's connected to Phil. Just wondering.
I don't know what to do with this though. Like, what do these lines get us? Like, if I knew Phil Lyman through, like, let's say I met him at a party one time, which I haven't. I don't think I've ever met the dude. But like, what would that do at all?
It's just a question.
Yeah, but what is the meaning of it? We don't just ask questions.
We're not going to get into all the conspiracies.
Oh, we do just ask questions.
Shut up. No, you don't. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that one bit.
How do you think we got all of our statistics that you love so much from just asking
through investigation? No, there's a distinction between asking questions and not looking for answers and looking for answers and being very deliberate with what hypotheses we have. But I am not clear on what your guys' hypothesis is.
I don't think a lot of cooking innovative, like whatever, like when people made bread, I think that they were just like asking questions with these ingredients. I don't think that they were looking for bread. They didn't know that it existed yet.
What are you talking about?
You always just ask questions.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. Okay. Well, we can save this for my interview, I guess. But I really want to get into that just asking questions thing.
Okay. And also, we'll shout you out if you want to cut this out. It's your YouTube channel, Brandi. But Hunter's going to be doing a video.
It's going to be critical of all of the viewers who are watching, so watch out.
Kind of debatey in that sense on his YouTube channel.
It's not going to be debatey. It's going to be like, I want to get into the psyche of conspiracy theorists and really try to understand them.
Okay.
And also document how fucking horrific the aggression has been towards me, my family, and towards other people.
So looking back now, is there any part of September 10th that you think still needs to be investigated?
What an odd question.
Or was it thoroughly investigated?
The answer is, I have no fucking clue. I really haven't been following the public defender and I don't think it's a public defender. I don't know. I haven't really been following the trial at all.
Oh, you haven't?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? You're just not interested, or?
Yeah, I'm not interested at all.
Really?
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I guess.
But you're so dead set that it's Tyler. But
I'm not dead set that it's Tyler. Hold on. Let me clarify specifically my belief. Okay. Firstly, I'm a deep institutionalist. And I know you guys aren't. I know that that's like the huge divide between us, is that I genuinely believe in institutions and you don't. When I say I believe in institutions, I'm saying that I really believe in the court's ability to prosecute specific people and to have a defense ready, and that battle will provide the best answers possible. I think that a prosecutor is going to do a better job than you guys. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to say that's their job. They're trained to do it. They go to law school so that they can have the facts. They can they have access to more information than you guys do, because they can get subpoenas from the detectives or from police officers. And I think that they are capable of getting clearer and better answers than random YouTubers. And I mean that with all respect.
Okay, but you haven't been looking at
Correct.
the evidence.
Correct. This is my default position.
Okay, so you don't know the inconsistencies
No, I don't. I've already seen a number of conspiracy theorists get a number of things wrong about me. And so like, I have very, very, very little faith in YouTubers in general, like Baron Coleman or like Jesse on Fire or all of those sorts of people, in getting this accurate, in getting this right.
Okay.
Can I interject
personally?
Really quick,
please.
now that you brought up Jesse on Fire?
Please. Fuck that dude. I am willing to.
Well, wait. Let me just let you know what I know.
Go ahead.
So
yeah,
I heard, and I think this was a private phone call, that Jesse on Fire offered you $20,000 to take a lie detector test.
This is a little wrong. Let me clarify some of those details. Oh, sorry. You want to keep, you can keep going about what, because
I know
that's a little bit incorrect.
Go ahead.
Let me really clarify on what happened. Jesse made probably, I don't know, fucking 15 videos on me or so. Hunter Kozak is a crisis actor. 100,000 views. I always knew when they dropped because my DMs would just fill up. Near the end, 13th or 14th video, he was like, hey, he put this on blast on video. He's like, yo, here's what I'll do. I'll offer you $20,000. You'll come in. We'll hook you up to the lie detector. You say you weren't involved in the event, and you get $20,000. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And I go, fuck yeah, of course I would want to do that. Of course I would want to do that.
Okay, so you said yes.
I said yes. And then I looked up false positive rates for lie detectors. Do you know how high it is? It's 40%.
Let me just...
There's a 40% chance that I go on his show and I go, I did not kill Charlie Kirk. And then a little fucking lie detector goes, lie. I would have to kill myself. I would have to. Like that. Imagine
I
fighting out of that.
Like not wanting to take that risk.
That's crazy. There's a reason they're not
positives very widely. This is just like straight up on Google.
No, yeah.
From 10% to over 50% sometimes.
Yeah. So it's like, why the hell am I taking that risk? There's a reason they don't allow lie detectors in court. It's just checking like your heartbeat to see if it increases at a faster rate. And sometimes you just get a little anxious or something. Like you're, fuck, I don't know, thinking about all the cameras. And I'm already stressed thinking about it. Like I bet that my heart rate's going to go up. So then he reaches out and he's like, okay, we're going to do this. And I go silent because I'm like, I don't really want it. Whatever. Then he makes another video and he goes, Hunter Kozak backed out of the lie detector. What would this mean? What could this mean? He made like 2 or 3 more videos like that. And I go, okay, let me just call him up. Okay. Cause I think someone gave me his phone number because they thought the lie detector thing was going to happen. So I call him up one night and I go, hey, this is Hunter Kozak. And he goes, like, you can hear a fucking pin drop. Like he's horrified. We have this conversation and it's honestly what he was very earnest. And I could tell his heart was really in this. And he believed me almost immediately. I feel like, well, not only that, he said, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. I fully believe you. But it took like 2 things that had to do. I said, what do you need to see? Just like, tell me what you need to see. I don't want to tell you what evidence I have because then you're going to feel like that's just proffered. Tell me what you need to see. You want to see like Discord logs? You want to see text messages? Whatever. He couldn't really give it. I'm like, I can send you the text messages that I sent to my wife that day. And he goes, yes, please. I'd like to see that. So I sent him a little screenshot, sent him in it. And it was like, it's me and my wife, we were bickering about where specifically we should sit. And then it was like, yeah, I don't know. It was so clearly like, call me. She was like, you got this. He's such a little, I don't know, whatever, like a little dig at him, like not that crazy. And then it was just like, we were clearly like frantic right after it. And he's like, I'm not going to be able to sleep at like tonight. I feel really, really horrible. I'm like, just a genuine question, dude. Genuine question.
About what?
That he made 15 videos accusing me of being a crisis actor and now is fully like, oh shit, I did something wrong. He like took it all back. There's a reason I said, fuck this dude, by the way. I know I'm giving a very earnest, like he really was really kind in this moment. Oh, and then I said, honest question, genuinely, if I knew the bullet was coming, why would I stand there 4 feet below where the bullet was? And he goes, shit, I've never thought of that. Like, yeah, I wouldn't take that risk. Like, I really wouldn't. And so he's like, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm like, can you just take down the videos? Like, that's really all I ask. And he goes, of course. I'm going to say 2 things. This is why I say fuck Jesse. 1, that $20,000 completely disappeared from the table because now that it's not about getting the truth, it's about making money. Right? Because he doesn't actually get monetary incentives when he's convinced that I'm right because it wasn't on video. So there's no real reason to give those $20,000. He wanted the $20,000 so that he can have a video that would make $1 million. He wasn't really actively in search of truth. I think this is my personal belief. Second, he hasn't taken down all those videos. There's plenty of me that are still up there.
Well,
so
wait, just to counter that really quick.
Yeah.
I thought you were the one that declined the $20,000.
Yeah, but he was like $20,000 just so I can know the truth. Just so I can know who did it. And I gave him convincing enough evidence that's not worth $20,000 anymore. And I find that interesting. That's all.
And this is what he said to you on the phone, not text messages.
Yeah, but I think I know I texted him the, let me see here.
Okay, so you said that he called you, but then he also texted you. And what did he say?
Well, he didn't call him. I called him.
Okay.
I got his number. I called him. I sent him the text messages between me and my wife. And also he was really caught up on like me and Destiny. So I sent him like Discord logs where he figured I was me. And then we like had a conversation real quick. It was like super short and stuff, but like, he's like, yeah, this doesn't look suspicious. But then he's like, just come on my channel and you can answer all of these questions live. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't trust your audience. Like, I don't see it. And then he just stopped responding after that. So I don't know. I think that he's got low-key a little bit of a duty to remove the videos after he feels convinced it wasn't me. And I sent him because he was like, I want to see all the videos that you have of the event. So I sent him like 30 videos. I'm like, you can use those whenever you want. Just like, I kept saying, just like take down those videos, man. Like it's got, yeah, they're still up. So anyway.
Well, I don't know him personally.
Sure. Honestly, what's so funny about this is he's a very nice guy, like very sweet, and like really had an earnest conversation with me. And I could tell his heart was like really breaking. that like we have to have this conversation. But I don't know. This is a perpetual issue that I have with like just sort of YouTube in general, is like it's so obviously monetarily driven, because like him taking down that video would cost him an arm and a leg monetarily, even if it wrecks my you know.
I mean, I think there are some people that make YouTube videos for money, and then I also think that there's some people that don't think that the investigation is actually an investigation.
You don't think the money's part of it?
To be honest with you, I didn't want to start this podcast for money.
No. I agree with you.
I genuinely loved Charlie Kirk, and I wanted to figure out what happened to him.
No. I agree with you. And we could save this for my interview, but I'm just saying that like I think it's really easy to get audience captured. I'll give an example of Dean Withers, who I actually really like that guy, but he's a political YouTuber. And when he heard that Charlie died, he cried, you know, on stream. It was on stream that he was doing, that he saw it. And his audience laughed about it. They were like, why the fuck would you cry over a fascist? And like a few days later, he was cracking jokes about it, you know? Mm. And like, I think that there's a nuanced way to have this conversation where I think he is being honest with himself. I think he cares about debate. I think he cares about conversation, but also it's hard not to notice your audience sometimes and to be pulled in that very specific direction. And that's something that I just think people don't talk enough about when it comes to like just YouTube in general, I think.
Okay. But yeah, we can talk more about that.
Sure.
When you interview me.
Sounds good.
Hunter, you once said that if you could do it over again, you would ask Charlie a different question.
Did I say that? Oh, that would make sense, because I don't remember saying this, but it's like, well, yeah, I don't want to fucking talk about shootings. I think it was a good question, but it's like, yeah, obviously the coincidence has not helped me at all.
So, I mean, I guess you don't remember ever saying that, but
no, I don't.
Right now, if you're like, you have to go back in time and ask him a different question. It doesn't change anything, but what would you ask him?
Yeah, I mean, my go-to second one was the Epstein
stuff. Yeah, you did mention.
And I think that would.
And what was it going to be again? Oh, about
how could you defend Trump after he sent this thing to Epstein?
I see.
It was like so clearly, you have a secret and you like girls of a different age from Donald Trump. It's fucking disgusting, and it really upset me. And I like, yeah, I wanted to watch him squirm a little bit. I want to watch him struggle to answer that question, because I knew that he couldn't really aggress against Trump, because he's audience captured. You know, you can't turn against your audience.
You're talking about Charlie Kirk?
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that.
I know.
Towards the end, he started to definitely turn away.
You think his audience was not interested in being critical of Israel?
I'm saying that he was definitely going to be losing a lot of money for taking a stance that he wasn't supporting Israel anymore. And that's
he lost money.
Absolutely true. He lost tons of money.
Okay, maybe. I don't know about this.
Yeah. Have you not seen the text messages?
I haven't seen anything, Brandi. I'm not on the same place as you're on.
Well, maybe you would like Charlie Kirk a little bit more and not have any ill will towards him now, but
I don't have ill will. I don't think that he was a honest interlocutor. And I disagree with it.
Say that when you're like, I don't even look into it. So how can you be so sure?
I watched a lot of his shows. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
When I'm saying I don't think he's an honest interlocutor, I'm going off of my experiences where he blacklisted every liberal creator. Like that to me doesn't show an honest interlocutor. And I watched a decent amount of his stuff. Like I've seen a lot of his debates and a lot of his crowd debates. And like before I went, I was like, let me make sure that I fucking know how he likes to debate and see if I can like prep for that. I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but I certainly was aware of his presence and watched his political videos. I haven't watched the investigations into like whatever you're referring to, like his bank account or whatever. I'm sure that's not what's going on, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know that arena even a little bit.
Okay. Well, we could talk more about that later.
I don't know how interested I am in it, but I'm not saying it's not important.
If you wanted to say about the conspiracy theory, which I know that's not your goal with your YouTube videos, but if you want to hear as to why we believe what we believe and why we feel the way that we feel, then
I'm interested in that.
Talk about those things.
No, sure.
Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want people to hear?
I'm Hunter E. Kozak on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube. You can follow me there.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want?
No, I will see you on Hunter's channel.
Also, if you're a conspiracy theorist, I will block you. I'm sorry. So probably this audience is not.
Well, you might believe in the conspiracy after we tell you about it.
Actually, my only prerequisite is that you don't think I did it. But also, I don't let it, no one's talking about conspiracy theories that I didn't. Whatever. I don't know if that made sense. I don't think it did.
I don't think people think that you're the one that.
I think a lot of people think that. I got a message 1 hour ago. You want to see it? Hey, Hunter, I hope you know that I and most Americans know that you're part of the cover-up for the fact that TPUSA killed Charlie Kirk, not Tyler Robinson. If you confess to this fact, you just might be able to be saved from eternal damnation for being complicit in a murder and lying about it. Tell the world the truth or this will haunt you forever. Also, your acting needs work. That came in an hour and a half ago. So you can imagine how often these come in. So I block those people on site and I don't feel bad about it.
Well, thanks for finally doing an interview with us. We've been begging you since probably November of last year.
Really? Has it been that long? No.
Yeah.
No
Probably,
way.
Yeah.
Mile Away Boys. That's it. That's the reference.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate it.